Coming up, my top 10 list for Free Comic Book Day 2023. Let's go. Starting the list off at number 10, I went ahead and picked up the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. This is a great comic strip collection here. This comic strip goes way, way back. If you're a big fan of Mad Magazine and you like that kind of humor, this was a great pickup for Free Comic Book Day. It's my number 10 slot because it's full of short stories, little strips, little comic strip stories, but it is really packed in there. So when the next one comes out, I'll probably more or less pick it up. It was a fun read, had a great time reading it. At number 9, I picked up another comedy book, Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. As a kid of the 80s, I love both these things, Mad Balls and Garbage Pail Kids. I've seen this book, and I've flipped through it a couple times at a local comic book store, and I've been on the fence of getting one. After reading it, it had a decent amount of stuff in here, but the most part, it was a fun read. Will I be picking up issues in the future? Probably hit and miss. I probably won't get the whole series, but I'll probably pick up one or two. And number 8 goes to Street Fighter 6. Now, last year, Udon Comics released a Street Fighter comic, and it was horrible. It was just Blanca, and it was an all silent read. It was probably one of the most boring books. I'm a big fan of the Street Fighter lore. I've been playing the game ever since I was a kid. The main reason why it's in my top 10 is because of that nostalgia. Same with the Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. But what this one has pretty decent story for Luke. He was introduced in Street Fighter V. Has a little beginning story here with Kimberly and Yuri that was pretty stupid. In fact, when I first started reading it, I was like, this one's going to be garbage. Had a decent story, a little bit of backstory about Luke himself. So this one earns the number 8 spot. Now, in at number 7, we have a really interesting pick here. We have Franzetaverse. Now, this is 3 stories based off Frank Franzetta's stories. He's known as a godfather of sci-fi fantasy. Really cool stories. Death Dealer. This one really caught my attention. The Mothman. I'm like super big into urban legends and just kind of supernatural and just that aspect. So this was a fun read. All 3 of these books will be coming out soon. I will be picking up the Mothman for sure, though. A lot of fun. Hoping to see more better from it. At number 6, we got ourselves a little bit of a wild card here because I wasn't really going to put anything Marvel on here, but the Uncanny Avengers on Free Comic Book Day was pretty decent. It set up a bunch of story plots for everything else like any Free Comic Book would, but I actually had fun with this one for the most part, and I felt like it deserves somewhere in the middle of the list, but not too high up on the list. At number 5, we have Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Battle for Pumpkin King. This one right here, I thought to myself, stop picking stuff you like nostalgia-wise, but this was a fun read, though. This really was. It's from Tokyo Pop. I don't know anything about this company. I never heard of it before, but I've been a fan of the Tim Burton The Nightmare Before Christmas ever since it came out, really. I just remember having such a great time watching it as a kid. It's my favorite Halloween/Christmas movie out there, so this was a fun read, though. I'm looking forward to seeing it from the universe. More comics that will be released down the road from this line. At number 4, we have ourselves Animal Castle Volume 2. This book was better than I thought it would be. I was not a fan really of the cover. Once I started reading it, it's based on this castle where the humans just up and left one day and the animals take over, and it is vicious. Comic starts off with an execution by dogs. It's all the farm animals trying to live under the rule of a bull, and the dogs are kind of like the police force or the marshals of the town, and it's really gritty, and it's really kind of it's deeper than what it should be, though. The cool thing about this one, though, I'm pretty sure this one is the first issue, like sets up the rest of the story down the road. I will be picking up issue number 2. I'm kind of curious to see where that goes from where they left off in this book. So yeah, this one was the biggest surprise out of all of them. At number 3, this could have easily been on the right kind of day. I almost would have put this at number 1. But truth be told, I'm just a really big fan of just comic book history behind the writers, the artists, all that right here. And this really kind of takes place during the Silver Age of Marvel Comics. You got Jack Kirby in here, you got Stan Lee, and it's just kind of talks everything, not only just about the comic business, but his life outside the comic business. It says in September they're going to release the graphic novel. I'm definitely picking it up, though. It's such a great read. And we only have 2 more left. I went ahead and picked Crime Buster as my number 2. The top 3 was so hard to pick, though. This one was also a great surprise, too. What really drew me to this comic was I started reading the main story, and the main story was okay. It was about this kid who was just trying to find his mom. His mom worked for this like billion-dollar cosmetic company, and he sneaks in and tries to find some information about his mom. And it was a good worded issue. It's really thick. It's got a lot of story into it though. But the other half of the issue is that comic right here. You get the origin story of Crime Buster when it came out, and it's an old Golden Age superhero. So it turns out. So I love Golden Age comics, and just the fact they put that in there was a little bit of bonus to kind of hype up maybe the history of it a little bit. Makes me want to find out more either about the Golden Age, or I might continue with this series here. Either way, it's a fun read. And my number one pick for Free Comic Book Day is West of Sundown by Tom Seeley. Now, for some reason, Tom Seeley, I've heard about him in the last couple of months. I've read everything from Local Man. He recently did an issue for Captain America Unforgiven, which also had vampires in it here. West of Sundown is about vampires, but it is so much more than that. It takes place in the 1800s. It's just really good. It's gritty. It's well written. Something about Tom Seeley. He does, I don't know. He excellent writer. I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff from him. But yeah, this one right here, I'm going to definitely get another issue or two and see where it goes from there. And that is my top 10 list for Free Comic Book Day of 2023. Like I said, this is my own personal list. So if you guys have a top 10 list of what you guys picked up for Free Comic Book Day, let me know what you thought was really good, what's underrated, and what I probably missed, though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Leave a like or subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you next time.